According Tucker, this is happening everywhere. What is this going to be?
Have you tried to buy a house recently in this country? Suddenly prices are out of control, and not just in the places where you'd think they would.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why housing prices are out of control. Has it maybe anything to do with Republican policies, which have led to and Democrat, but has it anything to do with those policies? Hmm. Let's think about this. This is really hard. I think we're gonna have to spend a long, long time thinking about this. Yes, it does. Big surprise. How shocking. High cost of housing is largely caused by like it's the supply and demand, right? There's not enough supply for the demand. And why is that? Because there's all sorts of restrictions on construction, because there are all sorts of rich people that don't want their neighborhoods to become sort of degraded by having more housing, right? Basically that's what it amounts to. That's what it amounts to. And also, of course, because jobs are found like they're found in cities. So people can't just go and like move to the countryside because they'll have no income. So it's you could say it's a combination of the fact that people have to work and have to go to cities to work, and at the same time you have lots of people that live in urban areas that want to prevent the construction of more housing. And at the same time, well, the fact that you don't give a basic income, because a basic income, well, that will allow people to just go and build a house in the country and just live off the basic income in the country, right? But you are against basic income, and of course you're actually against building like more construction in the cities because lots of your powerful donors are actually against it again because they want to have their sort of their peace and quiet, but be still at the same time be conveniently located close to a city.
Texas, Florida, people moving out of failing states into thriving states, they're up everywhere. They're up in San Jose, California, which is already way overvalued for like 20 years, but they're still going up. Homes are going for a lot above asking price everywhere.
With his What do you mean they're going for a lot? Like, isn't that literally like asking price? Like, I think what you mean is that's going a lot above like the price in other parts of the country. Because like, if the home is going for something, then typically that is going to be the asking price, unless somebody like makes privately an offer to get like maybe what he means is like people are privately making offers, sort of to ensure that they are the ones who get the home. Yeah, that I mean that's sure that's possible, but again, it has to do with your stupid right wing policies, right? It has nothing like this is the thing. You complain about problems when you are the cause of the problems. Like literally, all the problems that right wingers complain about, they are the cause of.
New York City office shut due to the pandemic and looking for more space for his family. In the summer of 2020, Justin Goldberg and his wife Jessica put their 3-bedroom Bloomfield, New Jersey home on the market. The house listed for $399,000 with multiple six-figure offers over the asking price. The house sold for $500.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what they mean. That yeah, they get offers, just like I said. Yeah, you get because there are multiple offers. But okay, so it's above the asking price, but it's the market price. And so, like, if you're pro free market, you should like this. Except that, well, again, the market isn't really free because of zoning restrictions. And like, why are people moving to Texas? Because there's like less zoning restrictions, right? Like Houston has no zoning laws, right? Or I think Texas in general. I remember looking at this for Houston specifically. But like, yeah, there's no zoning laws. So like, obviously, housing's going to be cheaper there. But if you obviously you're gonna do a sort of a NIMBY thing where you say like, oh, I don't want more people to set up shop in my place. Like, sure, look, I can understand that you don't want other people, but like maybe if you don't want to have other people near you, how about you go move to the countryside?
$42,000, over $140,000 more than what the couple was asking for. But the family then found themselves struggling to find a new home. With little inventory on the market, the couple signed a 1-year lease on a rental, and on the advice from their realtor, they then modified their house search from looking for a move-in ready home to a fixer-upper.
Boy, that is happening everywhere. It doesn't seem normal. There's been a lot of moving within this country,
Yeah,
but we're
it doesn't seem normal.
not
No.
watching a conventional housing market. There's something else going on. And in
Yeah,
fact, there is.
there is. There's a big Tucker going on.
The Wall Street Journal, in a recent piece, found that private equity firms like
Yeah,
BlackRock are
yeah, and fat cat investors are snapping up homes. You're bloody like Rupert Murdoch, the guy who's like lining your pockets, right? Right?
purchasing entire neighborhoods of single-family homes and turning them into rentals.
Okay, so there's also the fact that it's going into rental prices. Yeah, that is another thing. Yep, yep. Again, and for it to be a fair thing with the rental thing, again, land value tax. Land value tax. This is something that's very important. Land value tax of close to the full land rental value. So, like, obviously, like, it's just the value of your land, just the land in and of itself, ignoring like the quality of your building. So it's basically more or less the value that you could rent out like your land for. Um, yeah, if it didn't have any sort of improvement to it, but still was in the same location, right? That's the idea of the land value tax. It's kind of you would need, of course, like government assessors to do this because you can't like it's kind of hard to tease out what aspect is the value of the building and what aspect is the land. But I think we still, as much as possible, should do this, and even if it will never be entirely perfect.
In Houston, for example, big investors are now accounting for a quarter of home purchases. What does this mean for the country? Pedro Gonzalez.
You are the one saying this. You are like an ultra right winger, ultra neoliberal who is a shill for these huge investors, and you are bringing this up.
Is associate editor at Chronicles. We're happy to have him on tonight to assess this. Pedro, thanks so much for coming on. So what you're seeing here, the big picture, is the bedrock of American democracy was always independence, the burger class, people who own their own homes, mow their own lawns, they own something, they're vested in the country. And that is changing, and we're becoming, at high speed, a nation of renters. What are the implications of this?
Well, look, Eisenhower said in his farewell address that you and I and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, to plunder for our own convenience and ease.
Oh wow, another very deliciously ironic piece of quotation. uh, Considering that Republicans like exclusively live for today and don't think at all about the long-term consequences of their actions, and especially, for instance, with respect to global warming.
The precious resources of tomorrow. Plundering the future is what financial institutions like BlackRock are doing by buying up tons of real estate.
Right. I am like basically these people are saying that they're against financial institutions when they are literally doing propaganda for financial institutions most of the time. Like literally, they're doing propaganda for the Republican Party, which is then going to support the financial institutions. And of course, the Democrat Party is also a supporter of the financial institutions, right? Because the United States is basically a right-wing Nazi party. Like the parties, there are two parties. It's a right-wing Nazi party and a more right-wing Nazi party.
Survey found that 40% of renters expect to never own a home, and we can expect that number to rise. Homeownership gives people a stake in society. It's a way to build generational wealth. It's the foundation of the middle class and part of the American dream. And permanent capital is now robbing Americans of that dream, singing, "You'll own nothing and be happy." They're killing the dream and giving us a nightmare of dispossession. And they're doing this to underwrite pensions and pad bottom lines by raising housing prices, gobbling up single-family homes, and fueling another speculative investor-driven home price bubble that if and when it bursts, the same people they priced out of homes will end up subsidizing the bailout. And by the way, many of these same institutions also promote progressive policies like environmental policies that also raise the price of housing.
Right. So of course, then that means that environmental policies are actually responsible for people not being able to afford homes. It has nothing to do with your actual. At this point, I don't even know how to argue because suddenly you're like arguing as if you're a left winger when you're not. Like it makes so little sense. Like they're actually pretending. They're pretending to care about the average person. They're pretending to be, fighting for, your sort of middle class people when they're doing nothing of the sort. That is just the most unimaginably uh, strong hypocrisy. I can't believe